Victoria Hayes adjusted the diamond bracelet on her wrist as she moved through the charity gala, accepting congratulations from admirers. At 35, she'd built Hayes Digital Solutions into a tech empire worth hundreds of millions. The elegant ballroom, with its crystal chandeliers and champagne fountains, felt like her natural habitat. But something felt wrong. The room began to spin, the glittering lights blurring into streaks. Victoria's heart raced irregularly, and a crushing pressure built in her chest. She tried to call for help, but her voice wouldn't come. The last thing she saw was the ornate ceiling rushing toward her as darkness swallowed everything. When consciousness returned, Victoria found herself staring at a very different ceiling. Water-stained tiles, flickering fluorescent lights, and the unmistakable smell of motor oil and old coffee. She was lying on a worn couch in what appeared to be a mechanic's garage office. "You're awake," a small voice said. Victoria turned her head to find a little girl, maybe 7 years old, sitting cross-legged on the floor beside the couch. She had dark pigtails and was coloring intently in a princess coloring book. "Where am I?" Victoria's voice came out hoarse and weak. "My daddy's garage," the girl said matter-of-factly. "You fainted at the fancy party. Daddy brought you here because you needed help, and the ambulance was taking forever." Before Victoria could process this, a man entered the small office, wiping his hands on a rag. He was in his early 30s, muscular and handsome despite the smudges of grease on his shirt and jeans. His eyes showed immediate relief when he saw Victoria awake. "Thank God," he breathed. "I'm Lucas Bennett. You collapsed at the gala next door. I was there working on the catering truck when I saw you fall. The event coordinator was more worried about the scene you were causing than getting you help, so I brought you here and called 911 myself." Victoria tried to sit up, but Lucas gently pressed her shoulder. "Easy now. The paramedics checked you over, said it was severe exhaustion and dehydration. Your blood pressure was dangerously low. They wanted to take you to the hospital, but you kept refusing in your semi-conscious state, saying you had a board meeting in the morning. That's Daddy's nice way of saying you were being stubborn," the little girl chimed in, not looking up from her coloring. "Sophie," Lucas said with gentle reproach, though his eyes held amusement, "this is my daughter. My late wife's parents were at the gala, so Sophie came to work with me tonight." Victoria's mind raced, trying to piece together how she'd gone from her world of boardrooms and galas to a mechanic's garage. "I need to get back. I have responsibilities, meetings, a company to run. At 11 o'clock at night?" Lucas asked quietly. "Ma'am, with respect, when was the last time you ate a real meal or slept more than 4 hours?" Victoria opened her mouth to answer, then realized she couldn't remember. Days blurred together in an endless stream of meetings, emails, and crisis management. Sophie set down her crayon and looked at Victoria with a brutal honesty only children possess. "You look like my mommy did before she got really sick. Daddy says she forgot to take care of herself." The room fell silent. Lucas's jaw tightened, and he looked away, pain flickering across his face. "I'm sorry," Victoria whispered. "What happened to your mother?" "She was a lawyer," Sophie said simply. "She worked all the time, even when she was tired. Then one day, her heart just stopped working right. The doctor said she'd been ignoring the warning signs for months." Lucas knelt beside his daughter, pulling her close. "Sophie, why don't you go pick out a candy bar from the vending machine?" After she left, Lucas turned to Victoria, his expression a mixture of concern and something deeper, a haunting recognition. "My wife, Caroline, was a lot like you. Brilliant, driven, determined to prove herself in a man's world. She pushed herself until there was nothing left to push. I don't want to see that happen to someone else." Victoria felt tears sliding down her cheeks, surprising herself. When had she last cried? "I built my company from nothing. If I stop, if I slow down, it all falls apart. Or maybe, Lucas said gently, you've built something strong enough to stand while you rest. That's what real strength is, knowing when to stop. He handed her a bottle of water and a sandwich from a small refrigerator. Nothing fancy, just turkey and cheese. But it's real food and you need it. Victoria ate slowly, and Lucas sat across from her, telling her about his life. He'd been a corporate accountant before Caroline died, but after losing her, he'd bought this garage, wanting work that ended when he closed the door at night. Work that let him be present for Sophie. I make less money, he admitted. Drive an older car, live in a smaller house. But I tuck my daughter in every night. I coach her soccer team. I'm there when she has nightmares. That's wealth they don't measure in boardrooms. Something in Victoria's chest cracked open. She thought of her empty penthouse, her calendar filled with appointments but no real connections, her success that suddenly felt hollow. Over the next few weeks, Victoria made changes. She promoted her VP to co-CEO, sharing the burden she'd carried alone for so long. She started seeing a therapist. She began saying no to commitments that drained her. And she kept visiting Lucas's garage, ostensibly to check on her car, but really to talk with a man who'd chosen life over legacy. 6 months later, standing in that same garage while Sophie showed her a drawing, Lucas took Victoria's hand. You look different, healthier. I feel different, Victoria admitted. You and Sophie saved my life that night, not just by helping me when I collapsed, but by showing me what life could be. Lucas smiled, that warm, genuine smile that first captivated her. Maybe we saved each other. You showed Sophie that women can be strong and successful. And you're teaching both of us that it's never too late to change course. Sometimes the wake-up call we need comes not from success, but from collapse. And sometimes the people who save us aren't found in boardrooms or galas, but in garages that smell of motor oil, holding the simple truth that being human matters more than being perfect.